like to join this meeting at 3:32. Secretary Gretsch, you can do a roll call.
President Massa, here. Vice President Vaughn.
Present.
Treasurer Singh.
Present.
Speaker All.
Here.
Senator Magnus.
Here.
Senator Kagan. Here. Senator Babiote. Here. Senator Lemorski. Here. Senator Spatola.
Present.
Senator Sy. Here. Senator Merriweather. Senator Keating.
Here.
Senator Wilson. Senator Spiridonova.
Here.
Senator Bowling. Senator Saldana.
Here.
Senator Mascarella.
Present.
Senator Ortenzio.
Present.
Senator Walsh.
Present.
Senator Somi. Senator Philpott. Senator Jones.
Present.
Senator McCarthy.
Here.
Senator Greenwald. Senator Sweat. Senator Nazar.
Here.
Senator Cardamom.
Present.
Senator Roth.
Present.
Senator Downer.
Here.
Senator Brown. Assistant Vice President Spangos. Here. Assistant Vice President Hooks. Present. Director Yassin.
Present.
Director Jafrowski.
Here.
Director Stevens.
Here.
And Assistant Vice President Kosick. And Advisor Johnson.
Here.
All right, I would like to open the floor to any announcements. Senator.
I just want to talk about an event. SJP Students for Justice in Palestine is holding an anti-discrimination conversation with the President of Arab American Discrimination Anti-Discrimination Committee. And he's coming Tuesday, November 10th from 5 to 6. It's going to be a really great discussion. And I very encourage most of you guys, all you guys to be there, if you can be.
The ad hoc multi-faith committee did not meet this Friday, so we're going to meet next Friday at 12:30, third floor. We encourage anyone to come. Also, we as a committee have decided to send out letters of support to other student boards just to get their backing on the multi-faith meditation room. So Senator McCarthy and I made a mailbox for the multi-faith committee. So if any constituents or organization leaders come by the SGA room, please show them that mailbox.
Senator Roth.
The Graduate Student Association, Graduate Student Resource Center, and Center for International Services and Programs is hosting a coat drive. So if anyone has coats or scarves, there are flyers going out. There's several different locations, but one of the locations for drop off right now, we have a box within the Senate office. So,
Senator Keating.
On November 18th at 5 o'clock, there will be a sexual assault awareness seminar. I encourage all of you guys to go. If you're interested, there's an RSVP online at tinyurl.com/please-state-SAAS.
You can come right up here if you want, just so people have it. Director Hooks.
For those of us who are on the commencement committee, I talked to Barb Smith. She is not the chairperson. There's a new chair. He has not, or he or she has not reached out to us as of yet. Barb is checking into it, so I'm assuming that we're going to have a meeting soon because commencement is in December and we have already begun preparation for it in this session.
Senator Jones.
I am holding an arts gallery showcase November 19th from 4 to 7 p.m. in the Student Center Ballroom. It is all for the arts kids. There's going to be free food, live jazz music, a lot of mix and mingle between all the arts kids. It's not just for the art students. I mean, that's the majority, but I would love for everyone to be there. Connect, talk to them, and then I'm going to tell them that I'm hosting an arts career fair next semester. So please come November 19th, 4 to 7 p.m. Student Center Ballroom.
Senator McCarthy.
Just an update on East 22nd bus stop improvements. There was an actual bus shelter that RTA installed there, which is pretty great. So hopefully people have seen that. Working on getting a budget together for some more enhancements to the waiting area. But that was just an update on that.
Senator Van.
The nursing team is still looking for female fences, so if you guys know anybody, please let me know.
Anybody else? I have a couple myself. First, we need to allocate $200 from the Senate discretionary to the e-board budget because they paid for the food that's going to be at the Senate retreat, so we need to allocate that back. So someone can entertain a motion really fast. Senator Key.
I move to allocate $200 from the Senate discretionary to the board budget.
Senator Walsh.
That's it.
Motion on the floor is to allocate $200 from the Senate discretionary budget to the executive board budget. Any discussion on that? Any objection? Hearing none, motion passed. Office supplies are in. Do not take anything that is not yours. There's staplers, pens, pencils. We have a lot of stuff for everybody, but let's not take any out of there. There are a bunch of these pads for portfolios, for meetings that you go to, for any other research you want to write on. Again, I mean, you can keep that with you, but let's not just take a big amount of them. Director Bowling said that he was going to rearrange, or not rearrange office, but get an architect in the office to kind of see if there is any options for us to move things around. We're not going to do anything on that now. There's some sketches and some blueprints in the office. I want everybody to make sure everyone has a chance to see all that. So if you have any questions, I would email Director Bowling. If not, the desk that I usually sit at, there are stuff behind there. There's like 7 different options you can sign up on, whatever you like. But that's something that we'll discuss later on, but just something to keep in mind. The Senate retreat, just a reminder, is tomorrow at 10 a.m. If the senators can be there at 10 a.m. meeting in the office, we're going to walk down to Mather Mansion. That is where the retreat will be. The ballroom was being used, so we could not go there. We will eat around noon, so I'm asking the executive board and the cabinet to come around 11:30. Should probably be done around 11:45, but come around 11:30, and then after that is when we'll do everything with them. So 10 a.m. Senate retreat. Talk to most of you, and most of you can go, so please make sure you're there. Because we will probably just leave the Senate office around 10 to go to Mather Mansion. Office hours, please make sure you are putting your office hours. I know sometimes you forget, but please log them. It's really easy when you're doing just to log them. I would really like them done before the Monday of the next week. So this week, please log them in. They don't have to be done by Friday, but please by Sunday if they can be logged in. I'm tired. I'm sure some of you are tired of getting emails from me saying please log your hours, so let's chime in that. Kyle will be taking photos at the end of the meeting for those who need a headshot for the website, or Director
Both of us.
Jack.
Faster.
Something. Jack Jack Yeah. Sure. So, I butchered the name, I don't like to, so the Director of Marketing will be taking photos of you guys are. So if you need a headshot, please get with him after that. And then last thing, something that's not a big problem, but something we want to stop now is the use of the office for student orgs to come in there and meet. It's a public place. We can all go in there and hang out, talk, whatever. But official meetings of orgs, unless it's with SGA, let's stop that. Unless we're collaborating with them. So we just want to make sure we stop that. And that is it for me. Does anyone else have anything? Senator Raviota?
What are the drinks tomorrow? Is it casual?
Yeah, wherever you want. I'm probably wearing shorts and t-shirts. Or swim trunks. Maybe not swim trunks. Is there anything else? I would, I move to ratify the meeting minutes from the October 23rd meeting, 2015. Senator Walsh. Motion on the 16. Okay. Senator McCarthy.
I'd like to make a friendly amendment to the motion on the floor, change October 23rd to October 16th.
Okay, I approve. Senator Walsh. Motion on the floor is to ratify the meeting minutes from the October 16th meeting 2015. Is there any discussion on that? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed. All right, so we have Ms. Orzello from the Foundation Board to kind of talk about the Foundation Board and what she wants us to do. So if you want to come up.
Thanks for having me, first of all, but before I get into the foundation, you guys are gonna make great future board members for whoever organization you want to go to, because this is all Robert's rules and stuff, and our board members would love to see all this great stuff in action. So, anyways, my name is Sarah Ozello, and I'm the board coordinator for the CSU Foundation. Does any of you guys know about the foundation? Yeah? No? Well, Emily is actually our student representative, and the CSU Foundation is comprised of 40 community members, and their goal is to raise funds to support you guys. So raising hand, how many of you have a scholarship? How many of you know somebody who has a scholarship? Okay, they're an integral part of that. So one of the things that we're going to have you guys do today is write thank you letters to them. Hopefully you guys got the sheet that I sent out yesterday. We have these cards here, and the theme of it is your leadership and investment means, and we're just going to ask you guys to write in here what that is. It's pretty simple, it's pretty not complex, so that's what we're asking you guys to do today. That's something we can do now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we planned on.
Perfect.
That's how we
Yeah.
sent it. And did I look at my email yesterday?
Yeah, that's fine.
Sarah, I have a question. Last year, you guys did the breakfast, we had the roundtable discussion at each one of the tables. Are you going to do something like that again this year? That was great. I have a lot of students that participated, really loved the fact that it was board members and talk. I was a part of that.
Yeah. One of the favorite activities of our board members is interacting with you, the students. So we're going to try and figure out more ways for certain student organizations to interact. So if you guys have any ideas about how you would like to interact with the board, please let me know, because we only have certain ideas. So if you guys have any, yeah. So how this is gonna work? It's pretty simple. I have the sheet just so you guys can do it, but you're just gonna put whether it's Mr. Bacall, Ms. Ozello up here. Just write a short message, and then you can just put thank you, sincerely, warm regards, whatever after. Does anybody not have a card with the Trump on it?
Does everyone have a card? Oh yeah, please proofread your notes.
Yeah, if you guys
No misspelling.
Yeah, if you guys have, if you guys want scrap paper, I have it, but yeah, I mean, just try and be as
Write,
eloquent and
don't write fast.
So one of the things that, if you look on the sheet, it's nothing too complicated. You can just, thank you for your support, and you can explain what their support means, whether it means, the scholarship that I received has allowed me to be engaged more or help my financial situation. It's helped me be the first in my family to go to college. Whatever it means to you is a perfect example. There's really no right answer.
No, not really. Here you go.
And if you guys have any questions, let me know.
Here you go.
Do you want me to do two?
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to write it too, just let me know, because I still have other ones to do, so.
Everyone knows how to spell the word scholarship. Yeah, you're right.
Ready to get one? This is the guy right here. Yes, this is good. It's on the video.
I saw on the sheet that you were in the School of Business, so that sounds like, and you're the vice president. Yeah, it sounds like he's the vice president of our board as well.
Okay.
So that's why he's vice president. So is it gonna start with thanks for the drink?
Thank you. I don't need it. Thank you for my friends. I have friends that have scholarships. Thank you, my friends, for being able to advance their career and allowing them scholarships. It means a lot to me to have, for us all graduate together. I like that. Thank you. I think they'll survive. They're probably not even gonna open. It's nice to have. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I kind of put that a little bit in there.
Yeah, can you use this paper?
Yeah, if you don't mind, just so they don't have the same thing. I don't know if everyone got a sheet, but if you didn't, if you guys want to put at the top here, just your name, your major, and your graduation date, just in case you don't go into detail about yourself, our board members know who you are, at least your major, and then when you're graduating.
Is anyone done? I'll come around. Just raise your hand if you're done, I'll come to you. And make sure you have this little piece of paper with whoever you wrote with, yeah, in it. Anyone here on this one?
That's fine, you shouldn't have full automatic.
Raise your hand if you're done.
At least you contributed. Right, that's what matters. Wait.
Huh? Yeah, I.
Who still is writing cards out?
Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Brenda Levine, our Vice President in University Advancement, and she's also the Executive Director of the Foundation. I know she really appreciates it. The only other opportunity that I have for you guys is if you guys want to come to the board meeting on December 1st to help pass these out to our members and network a little bit, you're more than welcome to. I don't know, I'm not going to put a cap on it because I know that coming on a Tuesday from 7:15 to 8:15 is real attractive. But if you would want to come and network with the members and help pass out the cards, that would be great. If you can send me your information, I will send my information to Emily, and then we can kind of push it out that way.
Well, where would this be at?
It would be at the Student Center Ballroom. Yeah. And there's really members, as you guys can see from your cards, from all over Northeast Ohio and the different kind of business sectors that we have around here. So it would be worth your while. Yeah. Yep.
You said December what?
December 1st. Yes.
At 7:50 in the morning.
Yes, sorry.
Afternoon.
That's why the attractive part is not the best. It's 7:15 a.m. to 8:15 a.m. So it's at the Student Center Ballroom. Yeah. We have coffee. I know that's not really helpful, but so thank you guys. Like I said, Emily will send out my information. Hopefully some of you guys can be there. So thank you again. And anybody else have any cards? Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'll be just here for a couple minutes. But I'm
Can we all thank Ms. Rosella for coming? All right. Ms. Ram, if you want to come up and talk about PAB 2020.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for the invitation. I'm representing Vice President Yarborough this afternoon. He sends his regards. I am joining him in leading the student affairs portion of PAB 2020, so I just want to tell you a little bit about it. Next slide. This one. Okay. The goals of the institution are to ensure student success, maintain economic stability, foster collaborative university environment, contribute to the community and the region, provide excellent, accessible, and engaged learning. And we are embarking upon PAB 2020 to be absolutely certain that we can continue to do these things. So the objective of our PAB 2020 is to develop a widely supported and inspiring action plan for the university on how to continue to deliver on those goals that we just discussed in a very challenging financial environment. So what we're doing is we're examining every part of the administrative structure of the university. In addition to that, we are also, as a separate project, looking at the administrative side of academic affairs. Now, the faculty have gone through program prioritization, but this is that second part about non-classroom labor and supplies, etc. So the entire university is looking at how do we do things and could we be more efficient and more effective in meeting the goals. And so Student Affairs volunteered to be a pilot. All of the university will do this, but Student Affairs volunteered to be a pilot to test two different processes as far as how we might do this. One of which is a process audit on everything we do and what does it cost to do that. And the other is a generation of big ideas related to specific units that are either obvious ways to save money, ways to improve service, and to begin to really listen to stakeholders if there are things that do not make sense or that they've seen done differently on other campuses. So the participants in this process are students, faculty, and staff, volunteers, employers, and partners in our community. And so as you think about the broadest stroke, we're looking at career services, we're looking at athletics, we're looking at student life, we're looking at the provost office. So there's a lot of different stakeholders. For student affairs, the students are our primary stakeholder. And so we wanted to provide you with this overview and then to invite you to become more involved in a couple different ways. So the Division of Student Affairs pilot, it is reviewing the administrative and institutional support cost structure for our division. Okay, so everything from residence life to career services is under review. The Wolstein Center and parking are also part of Student Affairs. Our entire portfolio will be reviewed. The process is being led by Vice President Yarborough and myself, and we have support from Jim Bennett, Bonnie Calnasi, and Brian Ray, who's a faculty member in the College of Law. There are four specific areas. We're looking at arena conference services, we're looking at disability and testing, we're looking at parking and transportation, and we're looking at the student life programs and services. So right now, as we're going through this process, this is what the invitation is for now, and there'll be another invitation as we get started on budget planning for next year. Okay, so here's where SGA comes in, and you're an important part of our process. So the first is that Vice President Yarborough makes a commitment that at SGA meetings, there will be regular updates on our progress through our pilot, so that lessons learned, ideas being investigated, etc., will be shared either under his student affairs report, if that's what you like, or as a separate report, and that's really up to you. Okay? The second is that you're invited to participate in idea generation sessions. We have 4 of them coming up for the pilot, and I want to first mention that I do have a list of names for those who volunteered to be part of the Path to 2020 kind of continuous improvement. So those senators and members of the executive committee will receive additional invitations to these meetings, but I wanted you to know that all of you are welcome. So we're talking about arena conference services, again, disability testing, student life, and parking and transportation. And so the times are there, and it would be helpful if you could pull them into the minutes. I will also make sure that, and you have a copy of my presentation, so you can also post that as well. But if you're interested in coming, just please let us know. Yep.
The location.
The location, I'm sorry. The location is to be determined, so if you would RSVP to Paul, sorry, speaker all. Paul, you'll RSVP to Paul that you're interested in participating. I will push that update information out. Thank you. I hadn't heard back from my friends at Conference Services yet. And then last, any of you as individuals, your classmates, your colleagues, you can request more information about this process, about the 4 units that we're looking at, from either Vice President Yarborough or myself. Now I want to entertain questions. Yep.
I'm just not really so much about like what's being presented, but when, because it's being done in like roughly 2 sessions per day. I'm wondering why it's done all at 1 week. Because I think for some other students, maybe that's like, I don't know, maybe they might want to attend a different session on a different time period.
Excellent question. This is a pilot, and so the pilot is, which would normally take 6 to 8 to 10 weeks. We're doing in 4, so we're accelerating through the process. It is not, and we're completing our financials and our stakeholder conversations and everything in an abbreviated period of time to be able to discern what process will make the most sense when the entire university launches it in December. So excellent question. It's not representative of the depth of involvement that will be available moving forward. It's simply related to the pilot. Thanks for your question.
Any other questions?
Yes?
So, just so I understand, so it's going to be a pilot in November, but then we're going to do it again in the spring semester?
Well, some of the 4 units, excellent question. The 4 departments that are going through it now certainly are getting a head start, but we're not doing a deep dive into the expense portfolio or the revenue portfolio because of the time. So we'll, with the rest of our colleagues around the university, we'll do a deeper dive as we begin budget planning for FY17. That will really cause us to be looking at those big ideas, to be looking at new ways to do things, to be listening to our stakeholders, and really to begin the conversations about redundancy, about realigning the university's resources so that perhaps if there's several departments that are responsible for a certain part of a student experience, could those be organized in such a way to be more efficient and effective? We'd like to reduce red tape for students. There's a variety of those kinds of things going on. So we'll use this certainly as a precursor for that, but we will be going back through the process.
And just to clarify, this is open to all students. This is not just an invitation.
This is an invitation to SGA.
Okay.
For the pilot, this is an invitation for SGA. Thank you for asking.
Any other questions?
I would just encourage you all to notify your constituents that you are attending, you plan your time, and get feedback from them so that you can, grow the schedule.
And Claire, you already had topics and things that are going to already be presented at the meetings, or are you looking for us to also bring things that we're thinking about?
It will all be what the group brings with them. So come with ideas. There is not an opportunity in those meetings to necessarily respond. It is simply to, if you have opinions, ideas, you know, constituents who are participating in these systems and these services, then just please bring your ideas. There'll be a facilitator in each group to be able to talk about what do we know about the population served, because each of you has some information about all of those things, and then to generate how might it be better. So we'll spend a lot of time listening, which I think is important, particularly as has been mentioned, it's a pretty brief period of time.
Any other questions?
Seeing none, I'm going to take, thank you.
Advisor Johnson, if you want to come up with a student affairs update.
How's everyone? Good? Yeah, everyone coming to Cabcino tonight? That's why I'm dressing like this. Yeah, it's not Halloween. I'm not confused. I know. I've seen some people look at me like, it's a great Gatsby theme. I decided to embrace it, so in case you were wondering, that's what this is about. In the Department of Student Affairs, we're deep into Project 2020. There's been some groups already working on this process, so a lot of us have been very busy. We had a 5-hour meeting last week to kind of start the process with the Department of Student Life. So we've been very engrossed in that project. With the November 1st date has already passed, so now I know last week, our last meeting, Dr. Yarbrough talked about the realignment. So folks in the Department of Student Life are now within their new roles. So we're slowly transitioning, so if you have any questions as to who's responsible for what, and as our roles are progressing, please let us know. If you need any clarification on that, please come to me afterwards and ask. And then just kind of as a sidebar with the new piece of me being the student government advisor, I know there's been many times throughout the week where you've come up looking for me and it's been a busy week, so I haven't been as available as I'd like to be. I would like to put some open office hours together and have them posted in the SGA office in case you do have questions. You'll know times when I'm in my office, so that way we can touch base if you have any questions, concerns. So I'll work with the exec board next week to make sure that that gets posted in the office if you want to come see me. So basically it's a brief update, working on Project 2020, and then I hope you guys attend Cabcino tonight, and then come visit me in my open office hours. I don't want to be sitting there with open office hours and have no one come see me. Also be careful what I wish for. Thank you.
Okay, so we will not be hearing a facility service update, so we will just go straight to the funding request from ASEI.
Hi, my name is Ankur Mantri. I'm the president of ASEI. Myself, Nadosh, I'm the member of ASEI. Okay, so before we dive into this budget, we want to let you know what Diwali is all about. So Diwali is one of the biggest festivals of India. It's the festival of lights. It symbolizes victory of light over darkness. Diwali is the Hindi name for it. The Sanskrit name is Deepavali. So you'll probably see those two terms over in this presentation. The way how this festival functions is it goes over a period of 5 days, and there is this one big day which, according to the Hindu calendar, is the darkest, the new moonlight of the Hindu Lunisona month Kartika. So you can see so all those small candles are basically diyas. So that's what everyone does. They light up their entire house with small candles. And in the right side you can see a woman with a rangoli. So that's actually an art. They make that through using colors, and every house has like a different design, a different version of it. It's all about sharing love, sweetness, and it's also about worshiping the god Lakshmi, more like thanking the god Lakshmi for all the wealth and prosperity at home. She is considered as the goddess of wealth. So yeah, coming to our budget, for supplies, the main thing that we are looking for is diyas. We're going to go cheap on this, and we're going to use LED diyas instead of actually having those candles, or else we'll have to, I guess, get in touch with fire marshal and clean police. And for the food, which is going to be one of our biggest expenses, we are having 3 vendors: Bombay Chaat, Indian Garden, and Jaipur Junction. We're expecting over 500 students, and in the drinks we'll have pop water and lassi. So lassi is again a traditional Indian non-alcoholic beverage. The travel expenses, we're assuming it would cost around $200 to rent an enterprise car for 3 days to basically manage and get supplies and everything for the event. We'll be using DJ Wick, figures are there, and the total will come up to around $6,575. We are requesting $5,000 from SGA.
Wait, 5,000 from SGA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The event details, we reserve student center ballroom on Saturday 14th, November 14th, from 7:30 to 12 a.m. The food would be free. We don't need travel and accommodation for our guests. And the main reason why how this would affect like CSU and CSU students is, as we can see, like there is a lot of international students, and it would be a really nice experience to get that feeling in them again, like being away from home for a long period of time. It kind of helps at these cultural events so that we can get in touch with our culture again. And it's open to everyone, so it would also help us show everyone what our culture is all about, and what Diwali is all about, and other like big celebration, big events, big dances, all those kind of things that happens in India during this festival. And we'll also be collaborating with Indian student organization and Case Western and FICA Cleveland, which is a really big and prominent Indian association in Northeast Ohio. So that's our dinner menu. Like I said, the food is the most important part of this event. And in India, like every state has its different cuisine. So we try to come up with a menu which would have like main items from all different states. So and again, like most of us are vegetarians, and most of us don't eat meat. Sorry, vegetarians and non-vegetarians. So you can see every item we have 2 versions of it. One would be with meat and the other one without meat. That's it. Any questions?
Senator Wilson.
Very, very nice presentation, and I actually hope to be able to come to something like this, eat, and enjoy it, but kind of addressing the elephant in the room, and that is, why are you guys coming to the actual meeting instead of requesting to finance meeting?
This is my first semester as a president. I actually didn't know about the process. We were actually planning to have this event early in the first week of December, but I was told like it's going to be it won't be possible to do it in the finals week. So we had to like reschedule it, and we wanted to do it in later weeks of November, but the student center ballroom as well as the Woodland Gym was already reserved for some other event. So we decided to do it this early. And And again, for the funding, we were told that we had to come to this meeting.
Senator Roth?
I have a couple of questions I want to ask. First of all, I went to this last year, and I'll probably go again to it this year. And it's a lot of fun. So I see you have a catering set for $500, you're requesting $5,000 for $500. What is your expected turnout for this event? Because you're also collaborating with 2 other groups. Is it like a 3-share part? I'm wondering like what the breakdown of that is.
When it comes to like Indian cuisine is pretty expensive around here. So our estimate was $10 per person, and that's how we came up with that figure. And we're collaborating with Case Western, but they won't be joining us with the funds and everything because they're
not allowed to spend their funding outside of the university. They're having 2 different kind of organizations there. So we are the one organization is not interested to collaborate with us, but the other organization is interested to collaborate with us.
What about the other organization? They're both Case organizations?
Others is the local Indian community organization. It is called FICA, Federation of Indian Community Association. It actually does all the cultural events. There is an event on November 8th, but it got cancelled due to the funding process of them. So they are interested to participate in this.
I believe so, yeah.
Senator Key?
Yes, imagine how you want to do this later in the year, and how Case Western can't spend money off their campus, but we can. Why are we hosting it at CSU instead of Case Western then? They're also having their event, we are going to participate in that event. So there's going to be an event at both campuses? Yes. Okay.
The main issue with, sorry to interrupt, but the main issue is for all our students to go to Case Western for that event is going to be a challenge for us. That's what we want. We want to do one at CSU as well.
And I just also am wondering about the transportation or the travel expenses. If it's at CSU, what do you need travel expenses for? We need to purchase all the LED items, the decor items, and we need to contact with the vendors because the vendors are not located near the campus. They are having, one is located in West 180, one is located in near Parma. So we need to go to them, talk with them. We need to explain what we need, at what time we need. So we need for that travel expenses. For right now, yes. Senator Cardinal.
Just 2 points of clarification, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Are you expecting non-student, like non-Cleveland State students to be attending this?
Yeah,
are we allowed to fund for food for I don't know if that's, we are. And then 2, if it's not off campus, I don't think we're allowed to cover travel expenses.
Oh, I think that's just for, like speakers, and you can, oh, that's right. Oh, okay. Sorry, are you done? I'm gonna go to Senator Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, that is something we can fund, but the benefit of going through finance committee for student government stuff, we don't have to go through every single rule and every single line we're sitting here. But I understand extenuating circumstances. However, $200 is something that's, it's a decent chunk of change, whatever. Have you looked into Zipcar or anything like that, or looked into alternatives as opposed to just automatically requesting the largest amount?
No, I saw in the rules and regulations, if we want to kick off, we need to move to enterprise. When we are doing training for the president and members, we read the rules. In one of the points they mentioned that we need to kick off to enterprise.
Advisor Johnson, did you have something?
Yeah, I just want to clarify that we cannot pay for local transportation when the event is being held at the university. That's not an expenditure that we can cover.
Senator Seeley.
I also just wanted to point out that if you were, let's say you were granted this $5,000, that would be it for the year, and you wouldn't have any funding for future events if you choose to do so. I just want to know if you know that, if you're aware of that.
Yeah, I do. I do know about it, and because this is like a really big event for us, that's why we decided it's going to be worth it.
And you see that like the bulk of your budget is just for food and that $10 per student. But I was wondering, because I would see a really large crowd. I was wondering, like, did they all RSVP to you? Is that how did you get that
No, they didn't RSVP yet, but based on the stats from previous years, we generally expect a huge number. And this year, I know for sure, there were more than like 3, 4
nearly
people.
50% increase in the international students community, and 90% of them is Indians in that.
So we've gotten close to those numbers?
Yes, we're coming really close to the numbers.
Okay, and I know that's open to the public, but I don't see like anything like promoting any of that, so I was wondering like, if you're spending money.
Yeah, we are spreading the word that
Yeah,
doing this
I'm
event.
going to actually work on the flyer tonight, and also we are planning on talking to conference services to keep those dias all throughout the student center as well.
Advisor Johnson.
I just have a protocol question. Did you already work with Campus Catering to get waivers for your food, because this is a week away?
Yeah, means once the funding is approved, we'll submit the food waivers, because we have all the documents ready. I talked with Kevin already. We said him that once the funding is approved, you can submit it. We already did one for Bombay Chap last time when we were doing Dandiya Night, so we're going to use the same thing.
Senator Tenzio.
What's the current finance committee budget sitting at?
Treasurer Singh.
122.
So I want to ask Advisor Johnson for clarification. Someone mentioned the zip cards. Are they allowed to use those?
Still
Is that not true?
transportation, we still cannot provide transportation.
And then my second thing was, although they are asking for 5,000 and that will be it from the SGA, are they allowed to do collaboration if they come back with another event? Are they allowed to ask for, because we have the 5,000 and then we have collaboration. Yes, so that's another option if there's another event.
Senator Key.
Given all the circumstances that this is difference, that this is approached differently than what formally it is for budgeting, budget requests, I would prefer to call executive session when people are done with questions, so we can discuss the finance breakdown of this. I move to call executive session.
Is there a second on that? Motion on the floor is to call executive session. Is there any discussion on the matter? Senator Babioti.
What is the point of it?
Senator Key.
Well, because this isn't a traditional budget request or finance request from the Senate or from SGI, so I don't really feel comfortable discussing further matters with the organization in here.
Is there any more discussion on that? Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed. So I guess if you guys can step out, and any members who are not part of SGA, if you can step out as well, this will just be for student government.
In order for advisors to stay, you have to make an exception to executive.
Okay. Yeah, I can.
No, like the group would have to.
So we have to make a motion for that. Okay, can someone entertain a motion to keep the advisors, Senator Walsh? No, just make a motion.
I move to executive session with advisors present.
Senator. Motion on the floor is to keep the advisors in while we are in executive session. Any discussion on the matter? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed. Okay, Senator King, you're now in executive session.
Yeah, my main issue with this request is that they didn't go to the appropriate financial request. We've already seen this.
We can still have discussion, so I will open for discussion. Advisor Johnson.
I just want to make the group aware that with, you haven't submitted any of your requisitions, so with that not taking place, none of your payments will be able to be processed for the event. So none of your vendors will be able to be paid at this specific event.
Yes, we are waiting for the funding to be approved. Once it is approved,
I know, but with the time frame, there's no way CSU as a whole.
We'll talk with the vendors, they will wait for us.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you were aware.
Senator Wilson.
You talked to them or you're going?
We used them last year too,
so we have to good contact with them, so they're gonna wait till the checks comes. So they immediately they work on ask.
Mr. Bergman?
Thank you. Last year, Japur Junction was not paid for 6 months, and they were not happy about it for this event. And saying that you had this event last year, this is not the first time you've done it.
Yeah.
And so to say that it's because you're a new organization is why you haven't turned in anything yet seems kind of contradictory. So help me understand. I work with the organization finance, so help me understand whether this is their first time doing it or you did it last year and you have the same expectation.
Like we're doing it with ASEI this time. The only reason for that is ISO has been here for a long time and this is ASEI's second year, and we want to spread our name out there and let them know about our organization. That's the main reason why we are doing it instead of them.
I was just asking.
Senator Keating?
So what you're saying is that your vendors are willing to supply your supplies prior to payment?
Senator Sylvia?
Supervisor Johnson, can you answer this question? It'll be processed through Cleveland State. That's what's delaying the money, the 10-day process of, that's what's being delayed, correct, for the food for their.
Right, because nothing's been processed through OrgSync for any of the processes to start. So with it being Friday, it's the end of the day, the processes won't even start until Monday, and Wednesday is the university holiday. So there's no way for anything to be processed within the time frame.
Okay, so if they get the food before, then it could be processed after the event, and they'll still get paid?
After the event.
After the event.
There will be no payment day of.
And that's at discretion of the vendors if they want to give them the food before they get paid?
But the vendor needs to be aware that they will not be paid at the event.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Any discussion? Okay. So because, just by bylaws, our constitution, we cannot fund the $200, we someone have to entertain a motion, just keep in mind the 200. So instead of the 5,000, the maximum amount is 4,800. So if someone wants to entertain a motion for anything, or
so it says that they have $5,000 for food. Could you take an extra $200 from that and give them the full 5,000? Because they have a budget that's over 5,000, so you just, if they're not asking for the full entire amount for the food, so you take away the car rental and then you allocate more money for food.
So I can do what they want, so yes, that's possible. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, does anyone want to entertain motions or anything? Senator Shelby?
I move to allocate $5,000 from the finance budget to fund this event. ASEI event on
Motion on the floor is to allocate $5,000 from the finance budget to fund the Diwali event for AESI. Yeah, okay, AES, yeah. Is there any discussion on the matter, Senator Bagu?
Why are we not voting on this?
No, we can't, no one, we have, when I call for an agenda, we can't.
Okay, I was just asking a question.
Okay, that's fine. Senator Finley?
I just kind of my own clarification. So with the forms that will not be processed, does this mean they will not get the money until the forms are processed? So once we allocate the money, it will take up to 10 days or so to even get the money?
10 business days.
10 business days. So
For the vendors to get the money.
For the vendors, they'll have the money to be able to buy the food and stuff. Or the vendors will give them the food and stuff, but they won't have the money until afterward?
Right, so the vendors will have to give their services without payment, knowing that they won't get payment until 10 business days.
And have you spoken with the vendors, as it was mentioned, I know you did, but as it was mentioned, have you spoken with the fact that it will be late up to the time that it was last year as well when that ever happened? And they're okay with all of that?
I spoke with 2 vendors. I didn't speak with Jaipur Junction because we just called him and asked about the menu. He said that we'll supply. I talked with India Garden and Bombay Chaat regarding the checks. They're okay with that.
Okay.
Vice President Kwong.
Can you please let Juniper Junction know before 6 months that you're gonna pay them late? Let's make like 1 week maximum, okay? Okay.
Senator Wilson.
Are you entertaining objections at this point?
No, this is a discussion.
Then I would like to say that this is a separate problem and not, over than just the fact that you didn't go behind to me. Also, that is a retroactive fund, which I don't know, it's not, it's just not listed.
Are you?
Technically, they're getting the money afterwards.
You guys are out of order. So. Are you done?
The caterers are not getting the money until after the event. That is correct, right? Yes. I'm done now.
Oh, you're done, okay.
SGA has done this where we have ordered things, we've gotten delivered to the office, we don't get paid a vendor for 6 months, oops, it happens. If they already talked to their people, they're getting the money, it's not being retroactively funded, this is why we're having this discussion, this is why they have come to present it to give the budget breakdown. It's not funding a retroactive, just to clarify, and we are guilty of this same issue, so.
So it's not that they're being funded retroactively, we're allocating the resources being approved, to be approved. If it's to be approved at this meeting, they're just getting paid after the event. They're not getting paid retroactively. As long as it's allocated and voted upon by the Senate before the event, then it's all kosher.
Advisor Johnston.
Yeah, just exactly what was said. The money will be transferred to the student organization based off of what you decide today. The part that's going to take the time is the processing then of the documents. So the money is not necessarily being retroactive because the processes just will take the time. Does that make sense?
Senator Rabioti.
So they're gonna get the money for the DJs and things like that, right?
They will have the money, but the processes that we need to do as far as administrative,
Okay, so
that's what's going to take the time.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Tenzio.
I guess just another point of clarification. So we know you talked to the vendors again. Have you talked with the DJs? You said you had supplies and you had other things like that. So have you talked with those people about paying them after the event as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Last time for the Dandiya night, actually, we did like this one.
Okay.
Director Yossi.
So you guys are absolutely 100% ready to take on this event next week?
We have actually started preparation for it.
Oh, you already started preparation?
We had the full mixed plan, complete plan.
Oh, so it's planned out ready to go?
How it's gonna end.
For sure?
Yes.
So we're good to go on that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I
What it was.
appreciate it.
Is there any more discussion? We're still in the middle of this motion. Is there any objection? Oh wait, did you?
I'm wondering how do we finish the motion? Do you just make a second?
Well, I already got a second. I'm in discussion now, but I saw your hand raised, so I didn't want to. So now I'm going to ask for any objection. Senator Babione. Secretary Gresham, you can go through a roll call vote. Oh, well, okay. So a yes vote is to object is to allocate the $5,000. A no vote is to not allocate the $5,000.
Sure.
Yes. A yes vote is to allocate the $5,000. A no vote is to not allocate the $5,000. Are we all good on that?
Yes.
Good. Do you have something really quick?
Are we allowed to abstain?
You can abstain. Yay, nay, or abstain. So, Secretary Gresh, if you want to go with that.
Senator Mathis,
Yes.
Senator Kingan,
Yes.
Senator Rabioti,
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
A yes, calm down. A yes is to allocate the $5,000. A no is to not allocate the $5,000.
No.
Speaker All,
No.
Senator LaHorse, Senator Keating,
No.
Senator Wilson,
No.
Senator Spiridonova,
Yes.
Senator Saladino,
No.
Senator Muscarella,
Yes.
Senator Artemio,
No.
Senator Walsh,
No.
Senator Somi, Senator Jones,
No.
Senator McCarthy,
Yes.
Senator Swett,
I abstain.
Senator Najjar,
Yes.
Senator Cardamone, Senator Rock, Senator Downer,
Yes.
So the motion passes. President Lawson, you can come up for
Beautiful democracy. I love you all. That's great. So just a couple of things. One, course evaluations go out Monday. They're available. It's all online now, so you'll be getting an email. Your professor does not get to see these, so please be clear and concise on your course evaluations. I know Director Sven Gross will be talking about the event that we are holding to encourage students to fill it out. The only downside to the all online evaluation, although it's convenient for students, we have low participation rate because they just don't take the time to do it. So Director Sven Gross will detail that event more later today. Just a quick parking advisory committee meeting update. It was last week. Not too many changes. They're going to be automating almost all of the garages and lots, but one of the main things that affects students was a lot of students have been forgetting their IDs to swipe in and out of the garages, and this semester they've been very lenient with letting people out and just collecting their ID number. But starting next semester, they will not be letting people in or out of the garage without their ID, and they will be directing you to a lot that does not have the gates. Also, if you are in the garage and you want to leave the garage and you don't have your ID or you lost your ID, it will be the daily rate. So just make sure you're aware of that. Make sure you encourage your constituents to keep track of their ID, get a nice lanyard, strap that thing under your neck. I don't know what else to tell you about that. You get one free pass though, so like if you do forget it one day, they will let you in, but you only get one starting in the spring semester. This semester, like I said, they've been pretty lenient, so that'll be a change then, you know. Students will maybe come next semester, they well, I got let out before, I got let in before, just let them know that that is not, they are not budgeting on that. Next, the recreation center advisory. Oh.
Another thing that I found out, you can have your ID and you can have your hang tag. But if you rent a car and you put your hang tag on in your rental car and you have your ID and you swipe in and you don't call parking, you will get a nice little ticket because it's not your car.
True. Also, yeah, so you have to register all the plates of all the vehicles that you drive. It's super easy online, center on parking.
Okay, I think that should be like really well advertised because like my freshman year we carpooled and we would like switch the hand tags. And one time we got a ticket and we were really confused why we got a ticket.
So we are actually looking into, and Senator Roth is going to be like the main. We have another parking advisory committee meeting November 24th, I think. Yeah, so sometime in November we're discussing carpooling as just an issue because students that commute do carpool, and we were like, well, what if it's this ID, this car? You know, we should encourage carpooling as much as we can. So we're going to be talking about that, but yeah, we do need to advertise it and let your friends know, let you know your constituents know that they're cracking down. So next week, the 10th, at the Recreation Advisory Committee meeting, if you have any suggestions or concerns regarding the rec center, please let me know. You can tell me, text me, email me, whatever. Next Thursday, November 13th at 11 a.m., the Executive Board has partnered with the Sexual Violence Prevention Council. That is a Provost initiative. We funded the t-shirts that say consent is sexy. I don't know if some of you saw them last year. So it's actually National Sexual Violence Prevention Awareness Week. So I co-chair the subcommittee for that with Jillian Keller at the Women's Center. I need a couple volunteers if you'd like to man the table. Basically, you'll just be educating students about sexual violence and sexual violence prevention. And if they answer some trivia questions about sexual violence correctly, then you win a t-shirt. So that's next Thursday, November 13th. And that's all I have for today.
Treasurer Singh, you want to give a treasurer update? No, you have to You can go ahead.
Hello everyone, how you guys doing? The only update I have, we got $100,000 from Student Life, and the finance committee decided to put $95,000 in the finance budget, and $5,000 in
Just look on your paper.
and $5,000 to the 110-250. That's the only update I have for the finance committee. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Was that a second, was that a motion second in committee? What? No, it wasn't a motion second. Oh, we gotta do it now. Okay, so do we understand what he said? Senator Sullivan?
Senator Wilson just informed me that it was motion and second.
It was per.
I didn't say that. I would see if it was.
Senator Walsh?
So what happened in the finance committee meeting, we allocated, inside of the finance committee, we allocated $5,000 from the finance budget to the one-time 250. So we will be able to allocate more one-time 250s for the increase of
requests. So that's going to cover 60 organizations.
Senator Walsh?
So I'd like to move $5,000 from the finance budget to the one-time 250 budget.
Senator LaHorse? Motion on the floor is to move $5,000 from the finance budget to the one-time 250 allocation budget. Is there any discussion on that? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed.
Can I ask a question real quick? How many requests have been made until the deadline, which is tonight?
You want the amount or the numbers?
The number of organizations and the amount that's been requested.
So far it's been $81,000.
81,000 for
25 different organizations.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Treasurer Singh. Okay, I'd like to call Senator Babiote and Director Hooks for a committee update.
Okay, Senator Babiote and myself, we went to the Student Life Committee meeting, and we talked about what the committee actually does. And right now, what we're doing is we're talking about policies that direct the students, affect the students. So the biggest thing that we talked about at the meeting was plagiarism. And I didn't know that it was a big issue here at Cleveland Student, but apparently it is a big issue with our students. It is a bigger issue with our professors, and they are ready to put the hammer down on our students. But as we all know, there are so many things that they ask us to read at the beginning of the semester, or check off and say, you've read this, and sometimes we read it and sometimes we don't. So what we talked about in the meeting was kind of re-educating the students before we actually put the hammer down, because one is a written warning. They write it, they tell you, you didn't cite it, or you forgot to cite it, or you spell checked your paper, as I often do, and you just delete the whole thing, the whole citation. And so a lot of professors want to give you a written warning, and then the next time it happens, send you before the judicial board, and do all these things to try to suspend you. And I don't think that's fair, because again, you do have some students that will say, I've read it, I've listened. Prime example, the gentleman that stood up here answered a whole bunch of questions in their presentation, and then we asked the same question that they clearly covered. So sometimes we might not listen, or we forget to read, or we don't pay attention to certain things. So the biggest thing is that, and what we'd like to do is, what I'd like to do as far as interaction hours, is to include that into, well, what is your idea of, and what constitutes plagiarism to you, and things like that, but other ways that we can get our students involved and re-educate them about the code of conduct and the different policies, because from professor to professor, it differs. So I would like to add that into our interaction hours as well.
Okay, one of the things that we discussed, where we could implement the information is freshman English classes, HSC 101. Freshman Movement Day, and of course during the week of the syllabus. A lot of students don't know that, when she was talking about variations between teachers, a lot of students don't really understand what plagiarism is. I know that for my freshman year, I'm a junior now, so my freshman year, a lot of people didn't know what MLA format is. And that, of course, is a problem. And so I think that as student government, we need to really go out there and make sure we implement that. And a lot of, we talked about the minor and major offenses. If you have more, if the paper or homework is more than 25%, you could either fail the assignment, but if it's a major more than 25%, you could fail the class. And a lot of teachers, let that slide and things like that. So I feel like we all need to come with a common ground and be more strict on that.
Okay, so Senator Roth, if you want to come and give your Senate report.
Before I get directly to my Senator report, I'll address one thing, since it's a good segue, given from Senator Bobby already and Director Ross. Probably do a lot more writing than a lot of you guys do. Well, I don't know about that, but I do a ton of writing, and this is the citation software I normally use. It's free. It links to all your applications, and it changes your formatting based on what's going on, based on what you want to use. So I think this is something that you can show your students. This is a good software to use. There's other ones that you can download and buy, but this one's free. And again, it links to all your apps, and it can change depending on what kind of format you want to work with, whether it's MLA, APA, AMA, whatever kind. So.
Write that down.
All right. So as far as most of my Senate report, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. First, I'm going to talk about what I'm planning as president of the Graduate Student Association, that's delving into some of my work within SGA. So Andrea Hooks and I sat in with our organization today to discuss having future events that are geared for graduate students, and one of the ones that we're having upcoming is in November. We're planning November 19th around Common Hour for basically a Grad 101 panel. It's open to the whole university committee, geared more for the undergraduate students, upper undergraduate students, but everyone's welcome. We're gonna be recruiting students to discuss students that are current grad students in different programs to discuss their lives as grad students, why they chose their program, how they are, doing with it, job prospects long term, the coursework, why they chose CSU. So what we're going to be doing first is gauging what representatives we're going to get from here, and then with you guys, if you could attend the event, tell other people to come to the event, or if you want to be a panelist, contact me or Senator Hooks, or Director Hooks. And then next semester, we're looking into planning a retreat for the graduate student organizations on campus. We're going to take the leadership from those organizations and discuss ways in which we can co-collaborate between all the different colleges. We have 8 colleges that have graduate programs at CSU, and there are over 100 different graduate programs featured, master's, PhD, certificate, licenses across the board. So we're going to try to have a retreat sort of type thing like we're having this weekend for the graduate student organizations and leadership, and to foster some sort of communication there. The other thing I wanted to discuss was my meeting with RTA, Student Advisory Council Committee. That happened yesterday, so I didn't present that too much on the agenda earlier. But so right now, we had pretty good representation. Last year we only had about 5 students or so, but this year we're engaging more. I think there were 9 students in the council. The other thing is that there's 2 CSU representatives right now, me and Steve Horstman. We can have up to 4 representatives on this council. So people who are interested, and they need to be approved by student government, people who are interested in coming on this council, tell Ybor, tell Dr. Paul, tell myself that you want to be part of this council, because they really do want to hear your voices. Currently RTAs serves 20 to 25% of those people served by RTA are students. So we do make up a large portion of it. The app that they're looking at right now that's currently their best app for monitoring time use is the Transit app. So anyone who does have a mobile phone, it's got a green logo on it. I don't have it with me right now. Well, I've got it on my phone, but that's your best real-time app for it. All right, so what other things we discussed were issues involving like conditions of the buses. We've upgraded the bus. They've upgraded these buses recently to the 90 CN. They ordered 90 CNG buses. Those are the blue buses with the blue and white buses with a little streak on them. 16 more in January. They have a little bit better maintenance on them. So other things we discussed were more publicity of code of conduct on the trains, like you don't talk to, I guess, sorry. Oh, code of conduct. There are some things discussed. Yeah, so the code of conduct on RTA, so that's advertised, but what they're going to probably come out with more is a better, more well-rounded advertisement for it, more public, both in the RTA forms. The major change that's going to happen right now is they're going to be having listed schedules at all their stops, which will not only show when the stops run, but how frequently they run. So looking forward to that. And they're hoping to hit all 8,000 stops within the next year. Oh yeah, and they're looking to also increase the rate of frequency at which they're cleaning the buses, so ones that have maintained odors, they're going to be cleaning them more. And I think they're right now looking into maybe building more bus rapid transit systems. So I think that's it I've got right now. But if you guys want to be on this council, just let me know. If you have any questions, you can ask me now.
Do you have any questions for Senator Roth?
Are we on that council?
What?
Are we on that council? Do we have to get appointed by SGA? Like, would
so they say, I think they say you have to be appointed by SGA, but I know we've got another representative on there. So, like I said, we can be up to 4 people from CSU. We have representatives from JHU, Fulton Wallace, it's a JHU, John Carroll University, Fulton Wallace, all the.
Would that not be appointed by the SACs?
Would that be a SAB thing? SAB would appoint the person? Or is that not?
That, this is not a committee, I don't think this is a committee within the university, this is a Cleveland committee.
Oh, well then. President
I thought, didn't we were talking about it.
I was talking about it.
Senator Westboro.
I'm actually interested being on my committee as well.
Vice President Corn.
Can we get like a list of people that might be interested and then we'll do
You
that?
said up to 4?
It can be up to 4, there's currently 2 right now, and the goal with this is that,
There's only 2 that want to be, you can just talk to- There, how many, raise your hand if you're interested. Hi, please raise your hand. Okay, well, then what we'll do is we will just get your names, and then we'll go from there. Since there are more than 2, we won't discuss it right now.
I think I got all of it, so.
Thank you. All right, so if, I guess we can go one by one, but the cabinet members, they want to come up and just give a brief report on what they're doing, their projects, kind of what their job title entails. So anybody can come up. So Director Svengross, if you want to start it off.
Hi, I'm the Director of Academic Affairs, and the most important thing that I've been working on right now is the course evaluation event. For this, as Emily was saying, they are finally going to be publishing the course evaluations, and it's not only going to be the course, but they're actually going to do the professors as well. So when you're looking at classes, you'll be able to go on an adjacent website, right? You can look
Yeah,
at
so our goal, when we started this initiative back in 2013, our goal is to have the professors and the course evaluation. So when you're doing these evaluations, keep in mind you're evaluating the subject and then you're evaluating the professor. They are 2 separate entities. And then when you're like shopping for classes on CampusNet, you'll be able to, what they're talking about now is a link to a separate website which shows you that specific course and knows the professors of each course and the evaluation of all of that. So that would be just a great time for the students.
Right, so we really want to get this out to students this year then, and also since it is only going to be online, it is going to be a lot harder to draw students in. So we're going to have an event actually. It's going to be on Tuesday, November 17th from 11 to 2 in the Student Center atrium. It's just going to be a basic event. There's going to be probably like 7 or 8 laptops there, and we're going to have them set up at like a high cocktail tables. And pretty much you'll just come in, you can do your course evaluations, and then if you complete the course evaluations, there's going to be food available. It'll be like more like sandwiches, snack food, things like that. And we really want to advocate to the students just how beneficial it's going to end up being. It's still confidential because we want them to know that the professor is not going to be a problem, like it's not going to affect the grade or anything like that. And right now, Director Jack Grabowski is working on marketing, and he's kind of getting the word out. And I'm definitely going to need help on the day of the event. Probably sometime this week, I'll have like a sign-up sheet, or I'll just write it on the whiteboard in the office. I'm going to need people to sign out computers, and then I'm going to need people at the event as well. So yesterday I met with certain representatives and also different faculty with issues of clickers. It's not a really big issue right now. They kind of just wanted to get together to get ideas of what students think and what faculty thinks about clickers. We talked about free options by doing like there's different polling options you can do online for free. They weren't for that idea at all because that would increase the use of cell phones in classes. So that definitely posed limitations too because with the website, professors can't always see who sent in what answer. So it's kind of like not very beneficial for that. They did discuss other options though by like completely standardizing them on campus, which would mean you would get an initial fee as a freshman, and it is actually cheaper than what the bookstore was charging right now for renting or buying. So that's definitely something to explore, and that'll be going on all throughout the year. And lastly, I'll probably talk about this at the center retreat tomorrow, but I am having a academic affairs committee, and basically it's going to pretty much just go along with the ideas that I have going on now. And also with the college senators, you can present whatever issues are going on in your college, and we can work on those. And also, I figured we could do a major fair as well in the spring to get different people together, and it'll be easier for the committee to prepare it rather than just one person, and I want it to be really big. So I think 3 or 4 senators will be good. So if anybody's interested, you can email me, and then we can talk about it again tomorrow at the retreat.
I am Director Hooks. I am the AVP for Student Life. A couple of things that we've talked about. We talked with the e-board, and one of the things that the students are really still consumed about is food on campus. So what we're going to do as a part of interaction hours, which is another part of my responsibility, is we're going to be asking students if they would like to see a change. And in order to see some of the restaurants on campus change, we would have to ask them if they wanted to vote 2 out to get a good one in, but 2 would they vote out. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing that during interaction hours. Yes, sir.
I have a quick question. I've heard, and actually I guess I've seen a couple things. Do you know if you've spoken with people, do you know if it's confirmed that under the Langston there's going to be an RV there?
The sign has already went up.
Oh, it's gone up already?
Yeah, it's already up.
There it is, and I don't see this sign.
Just like with you guys, there's like, you know, we have our, I'm not going to say Starbucks for, and it is, and all these things have to do with contracts, you guys, so it's not something that's just going to happen, and, you know, just because. But opting for maybe, instead of a Starbucks, for something like the Phoenix Coffee, or even, what's our, right across the street?
Oh,
Cafe Aroma. Just asking the students and kind of getting options so we can go back to the powers that be to say, these are the things that the students are talking about. So that's one of the issues. Yes.
Just to this point, all of those, that space in the Langston's available for food options, I see, would be great. That, it's not university dining, so maybe one of the projects could be to reach out to vendors such as like Panera or Chipotle, or whatever you guys want on campus, to see if they'd be interested in leasing that space and opening up the business.
So I'm working with the, one of our directors, our IT director, to compose a survey. I'll talk more about that tomorrow at the retreat. The other thing is Director Johnson and myself, we have to work together to do the engagement hours. And one of the ideas that I had was once a month, either on the first Friday or the last Friday, it becomes an engagement day. So I saw a lot of traffic with the senators and the directors on Friday. So what would happen from maybe 8 a.m. to possibly 2:30, 3 o'clock, because sometimes we have meetings, is a whole engagement day, where senators will be there. I also talked to Advisor Johnston, and once everybody upstairs in Student Life kind of gets acclimated more to their jobs, we'll be inviting the students to come in so we can walk through or sing. So we can talk about the different things that students need to know. For example, the rules for organizations, the rules when it comes to coming to the meetings, inviting them to meetings, so those different things. And I'll talk more about that tomorrow. So I'm really, really interested in hearing what you have to say, hearing your ideas. So that's it.
Okay, I am Stephen Chakabowski. For any of you I have not met, I'm sorry. I hope to soon. I'm going to try to be in the office, not just for office hours, but from like about 12:30 to 1:30 every day of the week. So if you haven't seen me yet, please come meet me. I'd love to make it. First and foremost, any of you who need pictures taken for like to go with your biographies to go up online, please take the nice little sheet of paper we got earlier, fold it over, and write your name on it. I'm going to take the photo and then crop your name out, so just so I know who the picture is of. If you haven't sent me a bio yet, please do that. All that stuff I'm working with wonderful Director Stevens and actually be up on the website in short order. We've been working on the website. I have worked kind of closely. I've got a cool relationship going with the University Marketing Department right now. for senators who have larger projects that they're interested in doing, the marketing department has expressed interest in something called ghostwriting content, where if you want to advertise what's going on, we can come to the marketing department and they are willing to help get it up onto the website if they feel it is a big enough event. So they're open to those options, so I'd love to work with any of you who have projects to get that sort of thing launched. Unfortunately, up to this point, we haven't been working with a graphic designer. Happily, that has changed in like the past week. So what we have going on right now is he is working on an hours estimate for a communications package that will include a basic, like an SGA event sort of poster. So if you have an event going on, it will be a good looking poster that can be filled in easily with the event, the time, everything like that. And I can get that posted through the print shop and just get that up and out there. So we'll have a little bit of coherence in terms of an SGA logo attached to any project or any event that's going on. Yes?
Can we use that for promotion for the once a month engagement?
Absolutely, that would be, yeah, exactly. The other thing that I'm hoping to start instating instead of a newsletter is I want to really jump into starting to do press releases. So we're going to jump into that, and I'm hoping to do at least like one a week or something like that. So based on what's going on. Past that, I've been working with Emily and Malik and such, and they're going to start compiling with me what they're doing throughout the week. So in terms of meetings and things like that, this will be publicized and pushed over social media to the student body to make sure that they know what the e-board is doing, they know what the Senate is doing, so they can have better input in that directive. Another project we're hoping to work on is over the SGA Lounge. There's the banner that is right there. We're trying to update that banner, get a little bit more, the furniture restructured, everything, I know we've talked about this, everything to point a little bit more towards engagement with the SGA offices, not just a lounge next to the offices. Like I had asked before, if senators could try to do some interaction or some office hours out there, crossing that threshold of a doorway into an office is still a big deal for a lot of people. So please hang out in the lounge. People are much easier to talk to that way. Beyond that, I'm hoping to meet with the PR committee sometime in the next week now that we have GD. We're going to try to look at a better method for like SGA swag, t-shirts, water bottles, and such. I want to be able to get something that's going to be accurately logged this time so we can see who's checking stuff in, out, and the best allocation method for this, so we can incentivize students with surveys and we can incentivize students for any other event we might have. Please come to Kyle or I for survey ideas if you need anything that's just student body information. I've worked with phrasing and copywriting. I'd love to help design a survey that is best directed to get the best type of response from students, whether that be online, in paper, as Senator McCarthy prefers, or anything in between. And last but not least, if there is any senator that is still lacking a project, we've kind of been working just in my spare time and with other people for a discount card for all Cleveland State students. So if you come through and you display your student ID, you can get a certain discount at restaurants in the area or any local establishments, just in like the general zip code area. So if anybody wants to assist me with that, that would be absolutely lovely. So, any questions?
Thank you.
or on that TV, you can work with me. I had some ideas about videos, because it does have audio capability. So that's something that the students see a lot. And then in addition to that, I'd like to utilize the iPad more for surveys. So we can work together, come up with a survey, use that during our interaction hours. And just a little bit easier because you can see graphs that way. Stage time. That's all. Thanks.
Everybody, my name is Mo, Director of Collaboration Outreach. So basically, a few things with you guys. If anybody wants to contact me, like I said before at the other meeting, if anybody has any organizations or knows any organizations that want to put together a big event this semester or next, please let me know. We have 30 Gs in this little collaboration budget that we had. So if anybody knows any organizations, I have a few organizations I'm trying to get off the ground. So if anybody else has any questions, anybody there? I have a committee that I'm supposed to be running. I was unaware of in the beginning of the semester, but I'm actually getting things going right now. To people who are in that committee, you know who you are. I know who you are too. I will handle that, and look forward to a meeting next week with your board.
Okay. So, STAR met. You have a question? STAR met, and we had a lot of applicants for the Senate. So I'm just going to go ahead and read off the names that we motion and second in committee to appoint to Senate seats. Nick Fink will be the student organization seat. Gregory Joyce will be the senator at large. Nika Maso will be senator at large. William Johnson, student organization seat. And Karan Jain. Yeah, did I say the last name right?
Yes.
Okay. For the graduate business seat. So again, this has been made motion second in committee. So is there any discussion on the matter? Senator Keating.
How many open student work seats do you have left after the usually open?
None.
Well, I would like to.
None. There's none.
Can I request that I move up my mind forward?
There's none. So is there any discussion on that? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed. So SAB appointed 4 senators to public policy. Senator Cardamone, Senator Magnus, myself, and Director Bowlby. This was motion second. So is there any discussion on the matter? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed. All right, a couple things before we are done. So again, the Senate Retreat tomorrow is at 10 a.m., but please, we are leaving the Senate office at 10 a.m. So it is in Mather Mansion, so if you guys arrive late, just please try and get to Mather Mansion as quickly as you can. It will be on the first floor. Cafe Aroma is catering. I talked to 99% of you. I can actually talk about what you want, so I got it. So you'll have it tomorrow. Come prepared if you guys want to bring pads, pens, whatever. This will be a great brainstorming discussion. So
will we do any like activities we're gonna do as like the Senate, or is it gonna be more informative?
It's a surprise. Yeah, you can wear whatever you want. Yeah. I mean, please be appropriate.
I know.
So. Okay, stop talking. Director of Marketing, Director of Technology will be taking pictures of you guys. For those who do not have bios or do not have headshots, if you want to send it his way. Again, please stop talking until we're done.
Yeah.
Please send him his bios and then have a great weekend. So I adjourn this meeting at 5:33.